Hello again. The video you're about to watch is one that I made for my writing about video games class. I chose to cover Overwatch. It's a really basic overview of the game, kind of what the objectives are, what makes it unique, that kind of stuff. So if you've already played the game, you probably skip this video, honestly. If you haven't, or if you're interested in the game, like have wanted to play it before, it's a good little starter, actually. So anyway, please watch. Leave comments, let me know how you felt about it. Thank you.
Hello class, welcome to my video game presentation. I'm going to cover Blizzard Entertainment's Overwatch. It's a first-person shooter that was released earlier this year, 2016. It's playable on PC, which is what you'll be seeing me playing on, as well as all of the newest generation consoles. It is a pretty straightforward first-person shooter with different objectives each game. It's played in a series of matches, like most first-person shooters. In this game, I would say a short match would be probably 5 or 6 minutes, and a long game would be more like between 13 and 15 minutes. So it's pretty fast-paced that way. The thing that sets this game apart within its genre is that instead of only being able to switch out maybe your guns or maybe your armor, you can actually change characters anytime. So here are the different characters in this game. I'm not going to go through all of them, obviously, time restraint. But as with any game that has multiple characters like this, you can expect that each character plays a different role. A huge part of the strategy in this game and being good at it is knowing when to switch the character you're playing and who to switch to. Some brief examples, some of the healing characters. Mercy is a healing character. Right there, this is how she looks traditionally. So every character has between 3 and 4 abilities. So you've got, like with most games, you just have your regular left click on the mouse that's just your auto shoot kind of button. But in this game, there's some really interesting, unique abilities that happen also. It makes the game really dynamic and different that way. So Mercy is a healer, for example. She has a very low health pool, so she's very easy to kill, but she can provide healing, so if she's protected well, can keep a whole team alive. So she's important that way. But let's say your team already has 2 or 3 healers. Obviously you're inundated there, so you would want to play either someone who deals a lot of damage or can take a lot of damage. So, for example, this guy, as you might assume, is a tank, and he can take just oodles of damage. He also can put up a big force barrier that protects everyone behind it, so he plays his special role. So there's a lot of fun, unique characters in it, and some of them are just the traditional, badass-looking shotguns guy. So anyway, let's dive into a little bit of gameplay, and I'll kind of show you what it looks like, feels like. So here, I'm going to give you a brief overview of what I was talking about when I said that there are abilities in addition to just the regular shooting. So here we're going to play as Jesse McCree. He's a very straightforward character, really fun to play. So his left click is just a basic shot from his magnum, right? He also has a right click ability called Fan the Hammer, where he just empties the entire chamber, which is super fun. You'll see down in the bottom right there are abilities next to his ammo. Left shift is a tumble, like that. Not super useful as it looks, but it actually reloads when you use that ability. So the combo is to fan the hammer, and then fan the hammer again, just like that. His other ability, down there with the E next to it, is a flashbang that actually stuns when you use it, so it's really helpful for setting up his right click. So you come around a corner, stun someone, and they have no choice but to get shot in the face. So he's that simple. The only other thing he has is down in the bottom middle, that big glowing blue skull, is his ultimate ability. And every character has an ultimate ability. You can use it once you've charged it up, and you charge your ultimate just by doing whatever your character does. So obviously with McCree, just dealing lots of damage. With a healer, doing lots of healing. With a tank, taking lots of damage. So once you have it there, you can just press Q to use it. It looks like this on this character. So, pretty cool. You channel it for a minute, and everyone that stays within your view during that time instantly dies. Super rad. So, that's the basics of how the abilities work. Everyone's are drastically different from one another, but these are some straightforward ones just to kind of show you how that works. There's also a menu you can pull up right here that shows you the details of your abilities. So, That's good for learning new characters as you go. Anyway, let's jump into some gameplay. I'll show you more how the game really looks. This is, we're going on a map called Route 66. These are a bunch of other players here. They've already picked a few of their characters. So, based on who they've already picked, I should pick a complementary character to that. I'm going to pick Junkrat. He's one of my very favorites. In this type of map, what we're trying to do is escort a payload. And there are checkpoints. That's what that meter at the top of the screen with all the notches are. They're checkpoints. So, as soon as you come out of the gates, there's usually a payload. It's that big floating tank-looking thing there. If anyone on the team escorting is close enough to it, it moves as such. So if someone on the defending team comes up to me, though, and they're within range of the payload, it stops and is just considered contested. So you have to keep the enemy team off the payload in order to move it. So that's part of the strategy here. And you can't get far away from it or it doesn't move at all. Oh! I got killed! Alright, let's use my ultimate. It's called Riptire. I get to control my Riptire and detonate it, assuming no one destroys it. Go, looking for enemies, trying to be sneaky. Yeah. So you'll see too at the top of my screen, we're just about to make it to that first checkpoint. Really close. Every time you do, you get more time to try to make it to the next checkpoint. Alright, payload's moving. Alright, good team. Oh shoot, here comes the dragon. Defeat. So that's considered defeat because we didn't make it to the very last checkpoint. Also, at the end of every game, they give accolades here, and you can vote for someone you think deserved it the most. It's not a thing. It's just points, basically. It doesn't give you any more currency in the game or clout of any kind. It's just thumbs up. It's just liking a post on Facebook, essentially. Okay, so now you've essentially seen how the pacing of a match can work. And like I said, there are different kinds of maps. It's not always escorting a payload. Sometimes you have to stand on a point until you've captured it. You know, basic stuff like that. King of the Hill modes and stuff like all FPSs have had for the last 17 years or so. So let's talk about the psychology of this game a little bit more. There are a couple kind of, I call them breadcrumb rewards, the things that just keep you playing, keep you a little addicted. In this game, there is no pay-to-win mechanic whatsoever. There's nothing you can ever do to your character to make them stronger. You just get better at the game, and that's all there is. But that's not to say you can't get stuff for your characters. So let's look at McCree, like we were talking about. So there's all these things here that you can get for your character. You can give them, the first and foremost, of course, in every game is skins. And they, like I said, they don't change your performance in the game at all. It's literally just a status thing. You look different in the game. You can also get emotes, which you can just use in the game. You emote at people. Like that one, gun spinning, the hat tip. So there's things like that. You get voice lines that you can just spam at people in game if you want to be that guy. Also, as is tradition in a lot of games like this, you can get sprays. If you walk up to a wall and press the right key, you'll put your spray on the wall. Again, does nothing to the game. It's just something to do, something else to collect. So there's all these sprays you can get for each character. Some actually pretty cool art in some of them. Yeah, it's just more individuality to the way that you will play, you know, using this skin and having that spray and this voice line, and you know, that's how you play McCree. So there's that part to it. Other than that, the only real breadcrumb gimme to this game is that there are updates every couple of weeks. Sometimes they'll add a new character. This character here, Anna, actually it's Anna, but it should be Anna. She was just added to the game recently. I think that just about covers everything you could want to know about this game. For starters, there's a lot of nuance to the game and to each character individually, and that is, for more hardcore gamers, that is what keeps us involved in it, on top of there being a really strong competitive community. So there's a lot to learn and a lot to see, but it's one of those that's simple to pick up and so difficult to master, so it's good that way too.